Hi, I'm Kitegirl coach Annabelle Drumm, and today we're going to talk about your career. Now, often we choose our career based on what we're good at, what will make us the most money, what looks good on a business card, or even what other people think are most suited to us. And we can work at that career for years, even do really well at it. But there's something missing. We can try to build our life outside of work around what we love to do, but it just makes Monday mornings that much harder. That low feeling you get when you know that you've got to go back to work is a powerful message to law of attraction that is going to draw in more reasons to be unhappy and unsatisfied through the rest of the week. It's imperative for your sanity and for your happiness to get a job you choose as the one that you'll love to do every day. Once you're happy doing what you love on a daily basis, this opens up everything in all areas of your life for law of attraction to bring in more enjoyment. So I talked to career change specialist Jennifer Gresham. She's an American that's based in London, about her new online course designed to help you find the perfect career and move into it quickly. Let's take a look. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi. Now, you are a career change specialist. Tell me a little bit about what you do.
So my whole goal, my passion really, is to help people find the career that makes them feel happy, successful, and fulfilled. And of course, I got to this place in life because I had to go through my own career change and was completely lost and felt very unsupported. And so having gone through that journey myself, I really understand how difficult it can be. So I used to be a PhD scientist in the American military. So I spent 16 years doing science and serving as an officer. And, just one day I realized, wow, this isn't fun for me anymore. If you could have given me anything at that moment, I didn't want a raise, I didn't want a promotion, I wanted a day off.
Right.
Right? That's really what I wanted. And I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I left all of that behind, and somewhat dramatically, right? People were like, are you crazy? You're just hang in there a little bit longer. And I said, you know what, life is short. And so, I actually made the decision to leave before I knew what it was that I wanted to do with my life and with my career.
That's brave.
And so it was scary. It was terrible, actually. Talk about a lot of angst.
Yeah.
And so having to chart a way and to figure all that out, which was very painful for me, I said, there's got to be something easier. And so I ended up developing that.
Fantastic. I find a lot with my own clients that a lot of them are really, when they're suffering from burnout, that's one of the biggest problems that, there are many, I found 9 different causes for burnout, but one of them is definitely around the fact that they're in a job that just doesn't suit their personality. Do you find that with a lot of the people that you're dealing with?
Yes. In fact, I would say the average description for my client is an overachiever.
Right.
And these are folks I love working with because in many respects, overachievers are the most at risk in the workplace because they're so smart, they're so talented. So everybody just assumes that they're fine and that they're happy, right?
Yeah.
Opportunities come their way all of the time, so they don't need any assistance. And in fact, that's what's so difficult is that when you have lots of opportunities dropping in your lap that everybody says, oh, you're so lucky.
Right.
It's so hard to walk away from something that isn't the right fit for you. And you can't even maybe articulate why it's not the right fit for you. And so in my experience, overachievers are actually the most at risk.
Yeah, and I think sometimes even trying to admit that is a tricky thing.
Yeah, it is because your whole persona, right? Your self-confidence and your ego is wrapped up around your career and how well you've done and everything that's come up until that point. So for a lot of folks, it feels like an enormous sunk cost. And at the same time, right, it's the golden handcuffs. It's, I'm really successful at what I'm doing. How in the world could I walk away from this? And there's that assumption. And I really talk a lot about assumptions in what I do, in that if I go and do something that I love, there's no way I could make as much money doing what I'm doing that.
Wrong assumption, right?
Right, wrong assumption. But it's so easy to talk yourself into that. And of course, that's sort of the common sense. What you hear from people is like, oh, well, if you're going to do what you love, you're going to take a pay cut. And so we help people work past that.
Fantastic. So tell me about your new course that you've just launched.
Yeah, so the No Regrets Career Academy is my course. This is actually the 4th launch that we've gone through.
Yep.
And, it's based around the idea that career change is really a 6-step process. In fact, this is true if you're choosing a career right out of college or if you're choosing it, after retirement, right? It's the same 6-step process. And I think what's unfortunate is that no one ever teaches you this process. And so you're left to kind of figure it out on your own. So let me just, if it's okay, can I just step you through the 6 steps?
Yeah, go ahead.
So step 1 is defining success for yourself, right? And you know how important this is. If you don't know what success feels like for you, society is happy to supply you with a definition. And again, this is where so many of us go wrong, right?
Absolutely.
We say, don't know what success is, so I guess it's salary or I guess it's prestige or whatever. So having a methodology for defining success for yourself is so important. Then you have to understand yourself. And this goes back to your point before about looking at that intersection between your passions, your personality, and your strengths, right? So there's so many folks who, they may be passionate about something, but that particular career field doesn't support their personality type. It's just never going to be a good fit. A lot of people who come to me are really, really good at something, but they hate it. They're not passionate about it.
Yeah, but everybody told them to do it at school, right?
Exactly, right? I became a scientist not because I'm passionate about science, but because, it was impressive.
It made you look intelligent.
You tell people like, yeah, I have a PhD in biochemistry. They're like, wow. And, it's hard to not want that. And I think, one of the big things is understanding like actually excellence is impressive no matter what you're doing. And especially for the kinds of people that I tend to work with, like the problem is not being excellent. It's finding that thing that you want to be excellent at. And so looking at that intersection between those 3 things, that's step 2. Cool. Step 3 is overcoming your fears, because when you finally commit to doing something that you're really interested in and you're good at, wow, lots of fears come up.
Right.
And then once you've done all that work, then you can start to research your options. That's step 4. Step 5 is to position yourself. And step 6 is to market yourself.
Right. And positioning is important too, isn't it? Because a lot of people think that when they're switching careers, I find this with my clients too, they're terrified they're going to have to start sweeping floors at the bottom. You know, whereas you can actually position yourself to move sideways, not down.
Exactly. Or even up. I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to do. But, I've had graduates who came out of my course who went into a totally new career field and were hired as a CFO.
Wow.
And so it really is possible, but, you have to do your homework.
Yeah.
And way too many people, they want to jump right to the marketing themselves, right? They want to say, okay, what jobs are out there? And now I'm going to shove myself into that description.
Right.
Instead of doing it the other way around of, here's exactly what I want to do. And now I'm going to find a way to make that happen.
Do you find the positioning that you do in the course, does that help prepare people for when they're going to see recruitment people, for example? I know that a lot of the time when you get recruitment agencies that they are so quick to put people in a box that it's very hard for one person to switch careers. So is the positioning, is that where that helps?
I actually spend most of my time on the first 4 steps.
Oh, okay.
So defining success, understanding yourself, overcoming your fears, and doing your research. And a lot of that, again, because that's where I think the big hole is, no one ever shows you how to do that. And so if you do that right, if you really spend the time and effort on that, I find for the majority of my clients, they don't have to go to a recruitment agency. They don't even have to look for jobs. So I've had people who get hired before they finish the course because, I'm not a law of attraction person, but it is a really funny thing.
Maybe you are.
But once you start getting clear on what it is you want and why you are the right person to do that, then things do start to happen. And we've had people who've moved, totally different career paths within their own company, for example. So we had a software engineer who ended up moving over to marketing within his own company. Because it turned out, even though he was good as an engineer, a software guy, he was a people person. He really wanted to be around people, and he wanted to study people and, interact with them. And marketing really gave him an opportunity to do that. So, there's a ton of different ways in order to make that switch. But until you know what you want and why you want it and why you're a good fit, it's really hard to go to these recruitment agencies and get them to see beyond that box that you're talking about.
Yeah, you're right. That sounds great. So it's an 8-week course. And
it is.
When does it start? Do you kind of do everybody together, so you get them all started together and they work through it at the same, starting on the same start date?
This is actually a rolling enrollment, so
okay.
Folks can sign up anytime. It's all online, so you can work through at your own pace. One of the things we've found is that, folks have different obligations. They have different work schedules. So some people race through the course. They can do it faster than 8 weeks if they want to, especially if you've just been laid off,
right,
or in a toxic work situation and you absolutely need to get out and do something new. That's for those people, right? They can go as fast as they want. Other folks, they have, big work projects, or they have other things going on. They have kids. And so they may go a little bit more slowly. But it's 8 weeks of material. And so we step you through those first 4 steps in detail with lots of exercises. Depending on which level you join at, we provide coaching exercises, videos to kind of help you work through really specific common problems that we've seen a lot of clients stumble on, that kind of thing. And then one of the other big things that we offer is an accountability program, because, you probably know this. The biggest problem is that people will start something, they'll sign up, and they will never finish.
Yeah.
And, I didn't get in this business to have people quit halfway.
Totally agree. So you've got accountability there. That's just outstanding, particularly while you're doing this kind of thing on your own. If you're not happy in your workplace, it's unlikely that 5 of you are looking for the same thing. So there's nobody else to support you in your work. And I'm thinking also, if it's a rolling course, that people here, even in Australia, if they want to run your course, then they can do it as well, can't they?
Oh, yeah. We've got folks from, the last count was 15 different countries.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's absolutely a worldwide course. So you'll have lots of support, and that's one of the other big things is there's a forum where people can interact. And so, unlike LinkedIn, where your network is really the people that you already know, and this has been a big problem for clients. They say, I really want to talk to somebody in these other career fields, but I don't know anybody in those other career fields. I don't have those contacts. Well, now you get an instant global network of people from every career field you can imagine, right? All the way from, we've got PhD scientists like myself and artists, and everything in between. So it really gives you that variety and diversity that you need when you're trying to do something like this.
Wow, that sounds really, really good. Well, we're going to put the link in below the video here. Is there anything else that you think we need to know about the course before we finish up?
The biggest thing that I would tell people is just, it's really easy to say, like, isn't this something I can do on my own? Why do I need a course to help me through this? I'm a smart person. I get this a lot, right? Because I deal with a lot of smart people.
Hey, you're smart too, right? You struggled.
And that's it. I did it, and you can do it too all by yourself, but it's going to be a lot more pain. It's going to take a lot more time. If I could save just one more person from my experience, you know what? That's worth it. So yes, you can do it on your own, but this will make it a lot faster, a lot easier, and it'll make it a lot more fun because you're going to have that global community of people supporting you. Again, I did it all by myself, and there's this feeling over time that tends to take hold that, what's wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? And it really starts to eat away at your self-confidence. And there's nothing worse when you're trying to go into a new career than to have self-confidence tanking. So, we have a 30-day full refund guarantee. So you can try out the course for 30 days. You can go through half the material. And if you decide that it's not for you, absolutely no problem, no questions asked. Just let us know and we give you a refund. So there's really no risk to trying it out and seeing if it works for you. And then, and if it doesn't, that's fine. But for the vast majority of people, I think you're going to find this is a much better way to try and choose a new career.
Wow, that sounds like a big relief to me. That sounds really good. Jennifer, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Annabelle. This has been wonderful. And, if folks have questions, feel free to contact me at jen@everydaybright.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jen.
All right. Thank you.